Hey everybody, it's Gabe again with another missions message. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For Christmas, my family and I spent our holiday in Mexico. The reason we went there was to help build a home for a family that didn't have a house. And I want to share about our experience with you today. But first, I would like to read the scripture. The scripture comes from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 18 and 19. It says this, "Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasures for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life." The group we worked with in Tijuana is called Youth with a Mission, or YWAM. You might know it in Korea as Yesu Jundodan. And the part of YWAM that we helped to build homes with is called Homes of Hope. The area of Tijuana has a lot of factories, and the people come from all over the country to work in the factories. But the problem is that they don't make a lot of money. They only make about $100 per week if they can buy a piece of land, and if the family qualifies, then Homes of Hope will help provide them with a house. So our group was pretty big. We had a lot of adults, a lot of little kids, and some teenagers. Building the house is really actually quite fast. It's not a really big house. It's rather small, but it only takes 2 days to build a house for these families. And yeah, the houses were pretty small, but it was a huge upgrade because before living in these houses that we helped build, the families were living in what we can only call a shack. And so it was a big deal for them. The family we helped was 3 people, and the father is named George, and the mom's name is Brenda, and they have an 8-year-old daughter named Carla. The land they had was pretty far from the city, and it was in a new development, and the roads weren't paved. They were all dirt roads, and it had been raining quite a lot, so the roads were really, really muddy. And the mud there, it's like clay, so when you're walking in it, it gets caked up on your shoes, like really thick, like that much or more, like that much mud on your shoes. It gets really heavy and you have to scrape it all off with a stick. So we all gathered with the family, George and Brenda and Carla, and we made a big circle and we prayed before we started the work. And after we got all the 4 exterior walls, that's the outside walls, done, they were all laying on the ground, we gathered the whole group together and everybody laid their hands on the walls and we prayed for them that God would really bless the house. And then one by one we lifted the walls into place. The family were able to help and lift that first wall into place, and it was really amazing to see the smiles on their faces as they saw the walls go up on their home. And they were part of it. They were part of building it, and so it was a great experience for them as well. So by the end of the first day, we had all of the outside walls and all of the inside walls up, and the roof was on. We all felt very tired but satisfied. So the next day, we were happy to come back to finish the job. By lunchtime, we had most of the inside done, and all the roof was finished, and the house was painted. And I was inside working on the electrical. I'm not an electrician. In Mexico, you don't need to be a professional to do this kind of work. As I was working on the electrical outlets, George and Brenda came in and they kept looking at the inside of the house, and in Spanish, they were saying, "It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful." And they kept repeating that. And I realized that to them, it was so beautiful because they had been living in this one-room shack that the rain came in and it was wet and muddy all the time. To them, this new house was just so beautiful, and it really made me appreciate that all the things that God has blessed me and my family with After lunch, the local crew took the family shopping with some of our group, and my wife Joy was able to go with the family and help do the shopping. So she had a great time. And by the time they got back, we had finished building all of the furniture. We built a table and for the dining room and a bunk bed with a big bed on the bottom and a small bed on the top. And we did all of the decorations and put in the gas range. And so by the time they get back, everything was finished. And not even 2 days, we built this entire house. We all got in a big circle and we were getting ready to hand them the keys to the house. But before that, every person in the group was able to share how they felt about their time building the house. I was the last person and I got to hand George the keys. And my sharing was that our group, we didn't go to Mexico to just help them. We traveled mostly from Texas and one family from California, not to only help, but to be a blessing. That was our goal, was to be a blessing. As the family received the blessing, I encouraged them to pass it on, and so that they would be a blessing to all of their neighbors. It's when we bless others, that's when we get the most blessing back. We presented them a Bible in Spanish and a photo of our group, and they were then able to share their hearts. George was really thankful and shared about how amazing it was that all of us would come from various different places to be a blessing, and just how amazing it was to be standing there in their new home. And Brenda was just so happy that when it rains, that rain wouldn't get on her bed. That was her main thing. And Carla, she was so overwhelmed that she could just really only say, thank you. So after that, we left with many hugs and smiles and thank yous. And I think every single one of us felt that we got the better end of the deal, that we had received more blessing than we gave. And again, that's what God's economy is, that when we bless others, that's us storing up our treasures in heaven. So I want to encourage you that you can take a look around your life and see if there are other people that are in need, and ask yourself, is there any way that I can be a blessing to those people? And I'm sure, I promise you, God will tell you and show you ways that you can be a blessing to others. So that's the missions message for this month, and I hope you enjoyed my sharing about our time in Mexico, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
So beautiful.
Es una grandísima bendición.
It is a huge blessing.
Algo bien importante.
Something very important.
Siento mucho gozo en mi corazón.
I feel a lot of joy in my heart.
Porque veo el amor de Dios
Because I can see the love of God
para mi familia,
to my family,
en cada uno de ustedes.
in every single of you guys.
Yo sé que el Señor Jesús los bendiga a todos
And the Lord Jesus may bless you all.
y nos permita vernos, ya sea aquí en la tierra o en su gloria.
And He allowed us to see Christ each other again here on this earth or in His glory.